Ladies and gentlemen, imagine waking up to a message so profound that it shakes the very foundation of your soul. Imagine hearing the voice of God in your sleep, warning you that the moment of divine fulfillment is near. Hours away. This isn't just a dream, it's a divine wake-up call, a stark reminder that eternity is knocking at our door and the clock is ticking today. I want to share with you a truth that can change everything, because the most urgent message from heaven isn't just about the end times. It's about your life, your purpose, and your eternal destiny. And if you listen carefully, you'll realize that the divine voice calling in your sleep is calling your heart to wake up before it's too late. Why should you stay till the end? Because within the next few moments, I will reveal how you can respond to this divine call, how to turn fear into faith, uncertainty into hope, and delay into action. This message isn't just for future generations, it's for you, today, right now, because the hour of salvation is closer than ever. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever sensed that there's something urgent looming just beyond the horizon? Something so monumental that it could change everything in a moment's notice. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that the divine message you've been ignoring, or maybe even dismissing, is shouting at you from the depths of your soul, warning that time is slipping away faster than you ever thought possible. What if I told you that the most critical message from heaven isn't a distant future event? What if it's a divine alert ringing in your spirit right now, calling you to wake up before your opportunity for salvation, transformation, and true purpose vanishes forever? Because the truth is, the divine clock is ticking. The window of mercy isn't open forever. And that silent whisper you've been ignoring, it might be God's way of telling you that the moment of destiny is closer than you realize. Think about it. How often do we live with a false sense of security, convincing ourselves that there's always tomorrow, always another chance? But what if tomorrow isn't promised? What if the very message that could awaken your faith, strengthen your resilience, and remind you of your worth is knocking softly in the quiet of your sleep, urging you to prepare? Because in life, the greatest failures aren't the mistakes we make. They're the opportunities we miss, the divine moments we overlook, and the divine voice we fail to listen to when it's calling us to wake up. This isn't just about avoiding catastrophe. It's about seizing the moment to embrace divine purpose with courage and conviction. It's about recognizing that your spiritual resilience, your growth in faith, and your success mindset are all intertwined in this divine call to action. The divine message is not just a warning, it's an invitation to live with urgency, to realize that the next heartbeat could be your last chance to align with God's eternal plan. So, I ask you, are you truly prepared? Because when the divine speaks in your sleep, it's not just a whisper, it's a wake-up call for your soul, and the time to respond is now. Have you ever wondered if the divine messages you hear, whether in quiet moments or in your dreams, are truly meant for everyone, or if they are deeply personal whispers tailored specifically for you? What if the voice that stirred in your sleep, the one calling you to wake up, is not just a random thought or a fleeting feeling, but a divine summons designed to awaken your purpose and ignite your faith? Think about it. How often do we dismiss those gut feelings or subtle nudges, convinced they're just our imagination or fleeting emotions? But what if those moments of spiritual awakening are actually divine invitations, personal revelations that demand our attention and responsibility? The Creator, in His infinite love and wisdom, communicates in ways that are uniquely tailored to each of us. It's not a generic message meant for the masses. It's a personalized call that challenges you to examine your life, your choices, and your readiness for what's to come. Because at the core of divine communication is a profound truth. God's messages are not just for understanding, they are for action. They compel us to confront our own hearts, to evaluate whether we are living with resilience, faith, and purpose. Are we truly aligned with His divine plan? Are we walking in the confidence of our self-worth, knowing that we are created for more than just temporary success? Or are we allowing distractions to drown out His voice, missing the opportunity to heal, grow, and prepare for divine appointments? This personal revelation is a responsibility, an invitation to reflect deeply and respond authentically. It's a call to be vigilant, to nurture a success mindset rooted in faith, and to develop resilience that stands firm against life's storms. Because when God speaks uniquely to you, He's not just revealing your future. He's challenging you to step into it fully prepared, with a heart that's open, a spirit that's resilient, and a life that's aligned with His divine purpose. The question remains, are you listening? And are you ready to answer that divine call? Have you ever experienced a moment in life when everything seemed to stand still? When the noise of everyday worries faded, and suddenly you felt a quiet but powerful nudge? What if I told you that those moments of silence, those times of crisis or stillness, are actually some of the most profound messages from God? That in the quiet of our sleep, or the depths of our hearts, divine wake up calls are whispering truths designed to shift your perspective and realign your purpose. Think about the times when life's challenges hit hardest, when everything around you seems to crumble, and you're left with nothing but your own thoughts and fears. It's in those moments of crisis that God often speaks the loudest, breaking through the noise of doubt and distraction. Because real growth, real healing, and true resilience often emerge from the silence. When we finally stop running and start listening, the divine voice isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's a gentle whisper calling us to wake up from complacency and confront what truly matters. Learning to recognize and respond to these wake-up calls is crucial. They're not just messages for survival. They're divine invitations to thrive in faith, to deepen our understanding of self-worth, and to develop a success mindset rooted in trust and resilience. Every crisis, every silent moment, is an opportunity to hear God's voice clearer, reminding us that we are not alone and that His plans for us are greater than any challenge we face. The key is to cultivate a heart that's attuned to His voice, to develop resilience that withstands life's storms, and to embrace the divine lessons hidden in moments of silence. Because when you learn to listen in those quiet times, you begin to see that God's most powerful messages often come when we least expect them. When we're most vulnerable, most open, and most in need of divine guidance. The question is, are you prepared to listen? And more than that, are you ready to respond when the divine calls you in your sleep and in your heart? Have you ever paused in the midst of your busy life and wondered, what truly matters in the grand scheme of eternity? Are the pursuits that consume your days, your career, possessions, the approval of others, really guiding you toward lasting fulfillment? Or are they fleeting shadows that distract you from the divine purpose etched into your soul? What if I told you that living with an eternal perspective could transform everything? Your choices, your attitude, even your resilience in the face of life's storms. Most of us are caught up in the whirlwind of temporary, worldly pursuits, chasing after success that fades and possessions that can be lost in an instant. But what happens when we shift our focus from those fleeting treasures to eternal truths? Values that never fade, promises that never break. When we begin to see beyond the horizon of today's worries and recognize that our lives are part of a divine story that stretches into eternity, everything changes. Our actions become intentional, rooted in faith and guided by divine purpose. We start to realize that our self-worth isn't determined by worldly standards, but by the eternal love of our Creator. Living with an eternal perspective doesn't diminish the importance of today's responsibilities. Instead, it empowers us to live with resilience, knowing that every moment is part of a larger divine plan. It fuels our success mindset, anchored in hope and purpose, inspiring us to prioritize what truly matters. Building relationships, cultivating character, and pursuing acts of kindness that echo into eternity. It's about aligning our daily choices with God's divine purpose, so we can experience healing in our hearts and a joy that transcends circumstances. Because once we see life through the lens of eternity, we realize that nothing we do for God's kingdom is wasted. The question is, are you ready to shift your focus and live with an eternal perspective that transforms every aspect of your life? Have you ever wondered how some people seem to withstand life's fiercest storms with unwavering faith and resilience? What is it that fuels their ability to remain grounded when everything around them is shaking? Could it be that they built spiritual muscles, strengthened through discipline, prayer, and perseverance, that allow them to endure even the most turbulent seasons? And if so, how can we develop that same resilience, that unshakable faith, to stand firm against life's relentless challenges? Many of us face moments of doubt, times when life's difficulties threaten to overwhelm us and shake our sense of self-worth. But true resilience and faith isn't born out of comfort or ease. It's forged in the fires of discipline. It's about showing up daily in prayer, even when the silence feels deafening, trusting that God is listening and working behind the scenes. It's about persevering through setbacks, knowing that faith is a journey that requires intentional effort and unwavering commitment. When we choose to lean into God's strength rather than our own, we begin to develop a resilience that becomes an anchor in the chaos, a source of hope and healing that sustains us through every storm. Building this kind of spiritual resilience doesn't happen overnight. It demands discipline, a deliberate decision to nurture our relationship with God, to feed our faith, and to persevere despite setbacks. The success mindset rooted in divine strength reminds us that setbacks are opportunities for growth, and failures are lessons designed to deepen our trust in His plan. Each act of perseverance becomes a step toward healing and a testament to our faith's power. When we face adversity with disciplined prayer and unwavering resilience, we discover a strength that can withstand anything life throws our way. So, are you willing to commit to building that resilience? Because your spiritual muscles are waiting to be strengthened for the storms ahead. Have you ever paused amidst the chaos of daily life and wondered, what is the true hope I cling to? Is it merely fleeting comfort or a temporary escape? Or is there something more, something eternal that calls us to live with purpose and urgency? What if I told you that the hope of salvation is not just a comforting thought for tomorrow, but a vital, life-altering certainty that demands our immediate action? Because in the grand scheme of eternity, What's at stake is far more significant than we often realize. Our very souls, our everlasting destiny. We live in a world saturated with distractions, where success is measured by worldly standards and self-worth is often tied to fleeting achievements. But true hope, the kind that transforms us from within, comes from understanding the gift of salvation, a divine promise that offers healing, purpose, and assurance. Yet, this hope isn't meant to sit passively in our hearts. It's a call to action. There's an urgency that pulses through the message of Christ, because every moment we delay, we risk missing out on the eternal life that He offers freely. It's a reminder that faith isn't just about believing in what's to come, but about living with a mindset that recognizes the preciousness of today, knowing that eternity hangs in the balance. Living with this transformational hope fuels resilience in our spirits and ignites a passion for sharing that hope with others. It awakens a success mindset rooted in divine purpose, urging us to prioritize what truly matters: saving souls, healing broken hearts, and cultivating a sense of urgency that propels us into action. Because when we grasp the magnitude of what's at stake, apathy gives way to commitment, and comfort is no longer enough. The question is, are you willing to embrace this hope with urgency, knowing that the eternal stakes demand nothing less? And as we lean into that divine calling, the journey towards spiritual healing and purpose becomes unstoppable.